Hey everyone, I finished watching the next episode of Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue Wrath of the Queen. This was a really good episode. Huge whiplash from the last one. The last one felt so, completely separate from everything else in the series, but then this one, yeah. You could totally skip In the Limelight because the opening to that and this are the same thing almost. You see the same image of Banshira in the flame wall. This one, let's see, Jinxer is locked out of the skull cavern, and then somehow he falls into Banshira's room. Okay. Anyway, he sees the exact same thing that she was doing last episode, except this time she tells him that she's really close to regaining her bodily form. She just needs one more burst of energy. Turns out that's Vipra. So she absorbs Vipra, and Vipra's dead, basically. Okay. Alright. I don't know, even when I was a kid, this was, kind of shocking. I wasn't, super attached to Vipra or anything, but, I mean, this is a pretty big deal, isn't it? This is one of your main characters, and you just kill him off. And that's not even the weirdest thing about it. The weirdest thing is nobody seems to care what happened to Vipra the rest of the episode. The rest of the episode, Diabolico and Lokai are major characters, and they don't seem to give a crap about where Vipra is. I don't know if they know that she's dead, kind of, or not, but, yeah, they don't seem to care where she went. Poor Vipra. And anyway, so yeah, Banshira gains her bodily form. It looks very different from, the stuck in the wall thing that she's been. She's very monstery, very freaky looking now. Oh, and she has this crazy screech. Like a banshee. Huh. Anyway, let's see. I'm trying to remember what happened next. I don't have notes with me. I didn't take notes. Or I did take notes, but they're on my camera, which is on right now, so I don't know what they were. I can't read them. Let's see. I think what happens next is... Vipra's talking to Lokai, and she tells Lokai, "You've always been my favorite. I want you to go destroy the Rangers." "Okay, you can trust me." And so he goes off, then Jinxer comes over. "Yeah, you sure you can trust Lokai with a mission like this?" And she's like, "He's expendable, like you all are." And Jinxer just giggles. Diabolico's in the back, and he's like, "Expendable, are we?" Oh, that was kind of interesting. Jinxer doesn't really seem to care. And Diabolico's like, I don't like her now. Let's see. Carter's off on a jog, and he happens to see Jinxer running around, and he's like, huh, what's he doing? So he follows Jinxer to the cave where Olympius is, and then he's like, huh, what's he doing in the cave? And then Olympius sneaks up on Carter, and Carter's like, Olympius, you're alive! And then they get into a fight, and then, what's going on? Oh yeah, Lokai is fighting with the Rangers. Let's see, they follow him to this stadium or something. Okay. And then there's this portal that opens up, and Banshira somehow sends them through the portal to the Skull Cavern, her base. I don't know why she sends them there. I guess maybe it's easier to control her monsters there or something. Who knows? So, Diabolico, let's see, he remembers from earlier Banshira saying how the monsters were expendable. So he goes up to Lokai. Oh, and Banshira gave Lokai this rocket launcher thing, and Diabolico is trying to warn Lokai, I don't think we should fight the Rangers, something weird's going on. And Lokai's like, no, I gotta serve the Queen. And he goes over, he's fighting with the Rangers, and then Banshira takes the rocket launcher, telekinetically, I guess, and gives it to Diabolico, and tells Diabolico, fire at the Rangers! I can't, Lokai's there. Do it! No! And then she forces him, Lokai, get out of the way! Boom! And then, boom! Lokai blows up. The Rangers are thrown all over the place. Diabolico runs over to Lokai. Lokai, are you alright? And he's like, why? Why would she do this? All my life, all I wanted was to serve Queen Banshira. And it's like, really sad. It's so weird. Oh, this was something I forgot. Earlier in the episode, there's this whole little thing with Lokai and Diabolico. Lokai goes to Diabolico, and he says, "Yes, thanks for being my friend through the millennia. I want to give you this dollar store rubber spider thing." Okay. And then Diabolico's like, "I'm grateful for your loyalty and friendship too, Lokai." And, like, I like the scene, but it's just kind of weird, and it makes me remember that the old Linkara joke from his History of Power Rangers when he says, "When did these two become buddy buds?" Yeah, it is really weird. I don't know why, like, suddenly now they have, like, a friendly relationship, whereas through the rest of the series, like, I don't know, it was more Lokai and Vipra who were the friendly ones, and Diabolico was more like just the boss. They weren't really friends. It was just like he's the leader, so we take orders from him. I don't know, like it's not too jarring. I didn't really think about it as a kid. It made sense to me, but anyway, this scene here, Lokai's dying, Diabolico is there with him, and it's so weird that like Lokai's kind of just a generic grunt monster, like a generic henchman monster, but this is actually kind of sad and almost made me tear up seeing him dying and being like, "Why would Queen Banshira betray us?" And Diabolico goes, "Because she has no heart." And yeah, and then so Lokai dies and blows up. Yeah, this is a funny thing in the old Power Rangers. Like, when a monster dies, they blow up. It kind of reminds me of in Dark Crystal, when the Skeksis Emperor dies, he, like, crumbles to bits. And when the Mystics die, they fade away. So I guess this is kind of like that, where it's just, fade away, crumble apart, explode! Okay. So anyway, I'm trying to remember what happens next. Oh yeah, Olympius is still fighting with Carter, and then Banshira creates this like fire force field thing around the Rangers and Diabolico. Carter, let's see, I'm trying to remember. He gets away from Olympius, then he goes to the stadium, he jumps through the portal, he's at the Skull Cavern, he sees the Rangers trapped in the thing, he's trying to get to him and he can't. Diabolico shows up. Diabolico, what do you want? Red Ranger, I have to tell you something. And he tells Carter that he has to kill Banshira to destroy the force field. So Carter is fighting through a bunch of batlings. Then he gets to Banshira. And there's a cool fight where he's fighting with Banshira. And oh yeah, and one of the funny things, Diabolico says, "You have to strike her where her heart should be." Okay. And then, let's see, so anyway, he manages to fight Banshira for a while. He frees the Rangers. Banshira like grows giant. The Rangers get the Megazord. They're fighting with her for a little while, but then she is able to get away. The Rangers retreat, and let's see, they're back at. Did they go back to the Aqua Base? I can't remember. Anyway, so they're regrouping. Diabolico is making his own plans to go against Banshira, and he still doesn't think at all about Vipra. Like, it seems like now he'd be kind of thinking, like, he knows Lokai's dead. As far as I know, he doesn't know that Vipra's dead, so it makes me wonder why he doesn't say, "I should find Vipra and tell her what happened," or something. So anyway, this is a really good episode. I really loved this one. As a kid, it was one of my favorites. It's still one of my favorites. It's a really strong episode of Power Rangers in general. I really wish we could do episodes like this now, where it's like, for the last couple of seasons, when it gets towards the end, we don't have, like, the stakes building up or anything. Like, there's no big losses, it's no stakes, basically. Like, in Beast Morphers last year, the last couple episodes were all, like, just filler garbage. Like, we had a musical episode. What the frig was that? Oh, what was it? I'm trying to remember. What was... Oh, yeah, Ninja Steel? I can't even remember what was going on by the end of Ninja Steel. What was before Ninja Steel? Dino Charge. Dino Charge is like just meandering around. Super Mega Force is just filler crap. Samurai is like the best of the newer seasons. Isn't that bizarre? How many older fans really hate Samurai, but when you look at like all the seasons we've gotten like in the Neo Saban era, Samurai was actually probably one of the best ones. Weird. So anyway, love this episode. Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say about it. Oh yeah, on Ranger Wiki there's a bunch of weird stuff. Like, I'm used to Ranger Wiki and the trivia and notes being like having a bunch of really anal, pedantic stuff that doesn't. Like, it's just anal and pedantic. One of the weird things they had here was one of the Rangers mispronounces Lokai's name Logi. Like, Logi? Or do they mean, like, just Logi? Because if it's Logi, then, that's not really a mispronunciation. It's just, like, G's and K's sound very similar, and, like, it's really easy, I'm guessing, on multiple takes, and especially in an action show, to, like, I don't know, say the slightly wrong sounding letter. It doesn't even sound wrong. Like, who was pedantic enough to go through this and notice, oh, he didn't pronounce it exactly the way everyone else does? It reminds me of, in the trivia for, I think, Forever Red. I think it was Forever Red. It says, TJ says Turbo Lightning Zord instead of Turbo Lightning Sword. I remember watching it, and it sounds more like Turbo Lightning Zord. Like, in the, like, I don't know, saying it all together, it does come out sounding more Z than S. Z, s, z, s. I don't know, it's not a problem for me, it's just, I don't know, why is this trivia on Ranger Wiki? And, oh yeah, then the other thing on Ranger Wiki that's funny is just word salad whatever. Let's see, there was a description of the scene when Banshira forces Diabolico to fire the whatever at Loki, and I can't remember what it said, but it was just all over the place. I have no idea what they were trying to say. I think they were trying to say that when the blast hit Loki, the Rangers should have been thrown like in different places than where they actually ended up. Which is, even if they had worded it accurately, what's the point? It's an explosion. People are gonna go all over the place. And also, it's Power Rangers. Do you expect, like, continuity with something like that? Oh, and also, the other funny thing is it says, Dr. Fairweather and Ryan don't appear in this episode. Thanks? I don't know why they keep saying Ryan doesn't appear in this episode. Like, yeah, of course he doesn't. Oh, that's something I wanted to talk about. When Banshira's fighting with Carter, she says, I already have the other Rangers trapped. With you gone, there'll be no one to stop me. And I was thinking, what about Ryan? Like, Ryan's there. Like, she says, like, the other 4 Rangers or something. So there's, there's the 4 Rangers, Carter, and she thinks that's it. And then that made me remember, like, does she even remember who Ryan is? Like, has she had much, maybe she forgot he existed. Because didn't he leave right when they resurrect Banshira? And then, in Sorcerer of the Sands, it was, Diabolico that saw him, wasn't it? I don't remember. Anyway, it's kind of weird. I feel like maybe it wasn't Banshira, it was the writers themselves who forgot about Ryan at this point. And, oh, and also, like, what about the Lost Galaxy Rangers? They exist in this continuity. So, and by extension, every other, like, Ranger team that's appeared so far, and every ally, so they can all stop Banshira, possibly. I mean, I get it, it's, like, just typical villain talk. I'm being pedantic now, like, Ranger Wiki. But yeah, anyway, I really like this episode. Looking forward to what comes next. One of the things I really wish we could have seen more of is Diabolico allying himself with the Rangers. I think that would have been a really cool thing to see. Seeing Diabolico fight alongside the Rangers as an uneasy ally or something. But that doesn't really happen. And next episode, yeah. I guess that's all for this one. See ya.